Have you ever felt an eerie sense of déjà vu, as if you had already lived this moment before, but in another reality? Or perhaps you've experienced sudden flashes of insight, knowledge that feels both foreign and familiar at the same time. What if these weren't mere coincidences? What if they were whispers from another version of you, reaching across the boundaries of time and space? Many ancient traditions speak of the multiverse, a vast, interconnected web of realities where infinite versions of ourselves exist. Some philosophers, mystics, and even modern quantum theorists suggest that these parallel selves aren't just distant fantasies, but active participants in our journey. They may be warning us, guiding us, or even altering the course of our destiny without us realizing it. But how do we recognize the signs? How do we decipher the messages hidden in the patterns of our daily lives? In this video, we will explore the hidden signals that your parallel self is trying to communicate with you, tracing their origins through ancient wisdom, scientific theories, and mystical experiences. By the end, you will not only understand these signs, you will know how to tune into them, unlocking a deeper connection with the unseen forces shaping your reality. Are you ready to uncover the truth? The idea of parallel realities is not new. Long before modern quantum physics hinted at the possibility of multiple universes, ancient civilizations and mystics spoke of hidden dimensions, mirrored worlds, and unseen selves influencing our lives. In the Vedic traditions of India, the concept of lokas describes multiple planes of existence, each inhabited by different versions of consciousness. The Tibetan Book of the Dead speaks of the bardo, an intermediate state where souls navigate between realities. Meanwhile, Gnostic texts suggest that our reality is but a shadow of a higher, truer existence, one that our soul is always striving to reconnect with. Even in the West, we see echoes of this idea. The Greek philosopher Plato described the theory of forms, suggesting that what we perceive in this world is merely a reflection of a greater, more perfect reality. Similarly, in Hermetic teachings, the principle of as above, so below hints at a mirrored structure of existence, where different aspects of the self exist across multiple dimensions. Fast forward to modern science and we find the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, which proposes that every decision we make splits reality into countless branching timelines. If this is true, then somewhere out there, another version of you exists, one who made different choices, lived different experiences, and perhaps is now trying to reach out. But why? What could these parallel selves want? Some spiritual traditions suggest that higher versions of ourselves, the ones who have evolved beyond our current limitations, seek to guide us, nudging us toward enlightenment. Others warn that fractured, unresolved versions of our past selves may cry out for healing, seeking closure across the boundaries of time. If we are truly part of this vast interconnected web of existence, then the question is no longer if our parallel selves can reach us, but how they do it, and more importantly, how can we recognize the signs? Imagine waking up from a dream so vivid, so real, that for a moment you are convinced you lived an entirely different life. The streets were unfamiliar, yet you knew your way. The people spoke your name, though you had never met them. Was this just a dream, or a glimpse into a parallel reality? Throughout history, people have reported strange occurrences that defy explanation. Déjà vu, inexplicable memories, sudden urges, or deep intuitions that seem to come from nowhere. But what if these are not just random moments? What if they are signs that a version of you from another timeline is trying to reach across the fabric of reality? One of the most common ways our parallel selves communicate is through unexplained knowledge or skills. Have you ever found yourself instinctively knowing something you never learned? A language, a skill, a solution to a problem that you shouldn't logically know? Many mystics believe that knowledge can leak through the veils between realities, allowing fragments of experience from other versions of you to surface. Then, there are dreams. Not just ordinary dreams, but the kind that feel like memories from a life that isn't yours. Some people report recurring dreams of places they've never been, people they've never met, or events that have never happened in this life. In esoteric teachings, these are often seen as glimpses into alternate versions of the self, surfacing when the barriers between realities grow thin. Another powerful sign is the Mandela effect, where large groups of people recall historical events, logos, or even famous quotes differently from how they appear in this reality. Could it be that our consciousness sometimes shifts between timelines, carrying memories from a slightly different version of reality? If so, this might explain why certain people remember events that never happened, or feel a deep, unshakable knowing that contradicts their current world. Beyond dreams and memory anomalies, intuition itself may be a bridge between realities. Have you ever felt an overwhelming sense of knowing that defies logic, an unshakable gut feeling warning you of danger, or nudging you toward a choice that later proves to be life-changing? Some spiritual traditions suggest that your parallel selves, especially those who have already walked similar paths, may be whispering to you, guiding you toward the best possible outcome. But if our parallel selves are reaching out, what do they truly want? Are they offering guidance? Are they seeking closure? Or are they warning us of something unseen? If our parallel selves are reaching out, the question remains, why? What is their purpose? One possibility is that they are attempting to correct a divergence in your life path. The ancient Hindu concept of karma suggests that every action creates a ripple, affecting not just this lifetime, but many parallel and future existences. Some mystics believe that when a significant decision is made, one that drastically alters your destiny, your alternate selves who made different choices may try to send you subtle warnings or encouragement. For instance, have you ever felt an intense resistance before making a choice, as if something unseen was trying to stop you? Or perhaps you suddenly felt drawn to an opportunity, despite having no logical reason to pursue it? Some spiritual teachings propose that these are moments when your strongest parallel versions, those who have already lived through the consequences of similar choices, are influencing you, steering you toward the best possible outcome. Then there is the theory of soul fractals, which suggests that your consciousness exists across multiple timelines at once, each version of you contributing to a greater interconnected whole. Some believe that in rare moments, the barriers between these versions thin, allowing energy leaks, sudden emotional shifts, strange physical sensations, or even full-on spiritual awakenings. Ever felt a sudden wave of sorrow or joy that had no direct connection to your current life? What if that emotion was not yours, but rather a reflection of something happening to another you somewhere else in the multiverse? Another form of contact may come in the form of spiritual déjà vu, not just the fleeting feeling that you've been somewhere before, but an overwhelming sense of recognition, as if you have already lived this moment in another existence. Some esoteric teachings propose that this is a timeline echo, where different versions of you are experiencing similar events, and their awareness momentarily overlaps with yours. But perhaps the most powerful way your parallel self may reach you is through visions and synchronicities. Have you ever encountered a symbol, a number, or a phrase repeatedly, as if reality itself was trying to get your attention? Some believe that mirrors, water, and even digital technology can serve as conduits, allowing brief moments of alignment between timelines. What if, in these moments, another version of you is looking back, watching, waiting, and hoping that you finally recognize the signs? But how can we actively open this channel of communication and receive clearer guidance from our parallel selves? Practical application. If your parallel self is reaching out, the next question is, how can you listen? How can you strengthen this connection and receive clearer guidance? The key lies in awareness, intention, and attunement. By becoming more conscious of the subtle signals from your parallel selves, you can begin to recognize and even influence the flow of information between timelines. Here are some powerful techniques to unlock this hidden communication. 1. Dream work and lucid dreaming. Many spiritual traditions believe that dreams are not just the mind's random firings, but gateways to other realities. When you sleep, your consciousness is no longer bound by the rigid rules of this timeline, allowing you to drift into parallel versions of yourself. To harness this, keep a dream journal and note any repeating themes, symbols, or places that feel eerily familiar. Before sleep, set an intention. Show me what I need to know from my other self. Practice lucid dreaming techniques such as reality checks and meditation before bed to become more conscious during dream states. 2. Meditation and mirror gazing. Certain meditation techniques can help thin the veil between dimensions. One of the most ancient methods is mirror gazing, where you sit in a dimly lit room and stare into a mirror until your reflection subtly shifts. To try this, sit in front of a mirror in low light, ideally with a candle as the only illumination. Relax your gaze and focus on your reflection without blinking too much. After a few minutes, your face may begin to shift. This is where visions from other timelines can emerge. Some practitioners report seeing themselves with different features, different emotions, or even different backgrounds in the reflection, as if momentarily glimpsing an alternate reality. 3. Recognizing and following synchronicities. Your parallel self might already be sending signs, but if you dismiss them as coincidences, the messages may stop. Instead, start tracking repeating numbers, symbols, and seemingly random encounters. If a specific name, location, or idea keeps appearing, research it. This could be a breadcrumb from another version of you. When you feel an intense gut reaction to a decision, pause. Ask yourself, am I feeling the pull of another timeline? Experiment with divination tools, tarot, runes, or pendulums to seek direct answers from your parallel self. Or tuning into emotional echoes. Sometimes, an unexplainable emotion sweeps over you. Deep sadness, overwhelming joy, or even déjà vu that feels more like a memory than a trick of the mind. Instead of dismissing it, ask, what was I doing when this feeling hit? Does this emotion feel like mine, or could it belong to another me? What message is hidden within this sudden shift? By recognizing these emotional echoes, you can start to notice patterns and even predict when your parallel self is trying to warn or guide you. When you begin practicing these techniques, you may find that reality itself feels different, as if you're suddenly more in tune with the hidden layers of existence. The more you listen, the clearer the messages become. But what happens when the messages grow stronger? What if one day your parallel self is no longer just whispering, but calling out to you? What if everything you've ever dismissed as mere coincidence, every déjà vu, every flicker of an unexplainable memory, every dream that felt too real, was actually a message? A signal from another you living another life, reaching out across the veil of time and space. Your parallel self is not just a distant concept buried in esoteric philosophy or quantum theory. It is real, active, and calling out to you. And now, you have a choice. Will you continue ignoring the signs, brushing them off as tricks of the mind? Or will you open your awareness, sharpen your perception, and begin a conscious dialogue with your parallel existence? The more you pay attention, the more you will notice. The more you acknowledge these messages, the stronger they will become. Reality is far more fluid than we've been taught, and your awareness is the key to unlocking its hidden layers. So, the next time you feel that strange pull in your gut, the next time a dream lingers just a little too long, the next time you sense that unshakable déjà vu, pause. Listen. Ask yourself, what if another version of me is trying to reach out right now? Perhaps just by watching this video, you've already begun to awaken to the truth.